everybody believes that they got to spend $50,000 cash. That's what's in people's brain. And they just don't realize that they can go solar with no money out of pocket if they do it right. I'm gonna start recording this. And then I'm gonna start by going over and tell my story a little bit. So I used to work for oil companies. I was a head supervisor for one of the largest companies in America and Canada. And largest inland oil spill in American history happened. And I became a whistleblower. Costed a company $600 million. They had to re-clean up a huge cover up, the biggest there was. So Jonathan Budd and Jim Bunch asked me to come give a presentation and show my documentary in Dallas about 7 years ago. Then they asked me to come, and I went to San Diego, and I just became really good friends with Jonathan and Jim. I didn't plan on doing solar, but when I got into the company, I bought some stock. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like my stock that I bought it's 23 times what it was worth 5 years ago. I mean, I made a lot of money. And the thing is, that is buying it. Powur's got so much money in the bank right now, millions, that they're wanting to buy all this stock back. And they're buying it for like 2/3 of what it's worth right now. And then when they go public, it's going to be worth even more, probably even double that. And so I'm going to save my money, my stock, and it's going to double, triple. And I just want you to know Powur's legit. I've watched them from the beginning. They went from a referral company where we would refer to 100 solar companies and we would get a bonus. Basically, a company would pay us $800 for a referral bonus. Powur would keep 300. We would get 500, and that's kind of how it worked. And then when Jonathan Budd's mother passed away, things changed. Jonathan had a meeting. He decided he wanted to get as many salesmen as possible. He wanted us to start selling systems. And that's when Powur actually changed the model and became such a better company. And we were allowed to sell, and then we started doing the installs ourselves and moving into many states. So COVID hit. Jonathan Budd asked me to start growing a team of people. I got Bo in. A friend of mine asked me to talk to Bo, and I got Bo in, and then helped get Anthony in. And they have blown up. They are just amazing. Basically, the reason why Bo got in is he was trying to sell me leads. And I actually said, hey, why don't you take those high quality leads and put them into Powur and see what happens? And that was during Powur's growth spurt where they were having some really long installs. And, you know, Bo stuck with it. Anthony stuck with it. And now look at their team. I mean, they have, you know, I have almost 200 people on my team now, and Bo is probably 160, something like that. And so, like, you guys are just kicking butt. I'm so proud of you. I want to go over basically when you build a team, try to get 2 people a month. Every single person you talk to them about this is a good opportunity. It's the next big thing. It's the future. We have a 10-year guarantee of the 30-year tax credit. I mean, it's the way it's going to be. And we're only at 3% solar, maybe 4% in America. I mean, you go to Germany and they're 70, 80%, and they have sunlight equal to Alaska. So a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, you know, northern states can't go solar. And they just don't realize you just get a few extra panels. And then your net metering banks it for the summertime or for the wintertime, and you get it back. It's mostly educating people in the solar industry. And I am one of the better guys at recruiting. I took a year off. I didn't really do anything. I was number 3 in Powur for lifetime recruiting. I had more recruits than Charles Thompson or any of them. But I recruited the wrong people at the beginning. I recruited friends and family and people that are lazy, and they didn't do anything. And I learned to go after solar companies. So what I did is I got veteran solar sales. It's the best thing that's happened to me because I have lead companies contacting me every week trying to get me to buy leads. Now I'm getting to learn and get better. I signed up 2 lead generation companies just this last week on the same Zoom. I asked one of them to, meet me, and I said, hey, do you want to jump on with us? And both of them signed up. It actually worked out really well. I'm here to help you. Any of you at any given time can contact me. I don't care if you're my level 5. I don't care if you're my level 6. I don't even care if I'm going to make any money. I want to help all of you prosper in power. And what I like to do, I don't sell a lot of solar. I sold maybe 12 systems last year, 3 last month. But what I like doing, and I get a kick out of it, is talking to people, trying to get them into power. And when Bo first started, he didn't want to grow a team. But about 2 weeks later, he sent me a guy and he said, hey, you want to talk to this dude? He wants a job. And that's kind of how that all started with him. And my goal is to help you with your first couple so you can get used to it. And then you can do it on your own, kind of like what Bo and Anthony has done. And so some of my techniques, basically, I'm going to go on here. I'm going to share my screen now. I don't have a wonderful presentation, but I'm just going to show you kind of what I do. So I have made a Facebook page with about 1,000 people on it. And it says Veterans Love Solar. And so this is something I've built up. It's slow. It, add 5 a week, and over a period of time, it gets bigger and bigger. My LinkedIn is up to 19,000 people now. And in this situation, I wanted to show you what I do. On a weekly basis, I basically add about 50 to 100 more people, whatever they'll tell you to stop at probably 50, and you can normally add on about 25 more. And so I just add on as many as I can until they say, hey, you can't do any more, you're done. And every week I do that. And then all I do is send them, these are all right now, they're all connections that said, hey, I want to be a connection with you. And then basically what I'm going to send Bo is this link, and I'm going to put in here my veteran solar sales real quick. And then I'm going to send this out. And I do this with everybody. So basically, if I get, 40 new people a week, I just send the same exact message to every single person. It's a numbers game, guys. Out of 100 people that you send this to, you'll have 5 saying I'm interested in looking at it, and you'll get one of them to sign up. And yes, it takes some time. You might have 2 hours invested, but what you got to think about is that one person, like Bo, like Anthony, you only need one stud, one roofing company, one small solar company that joins Powur, one, real estate agency or real estate agent that just knows so many people. And you are going to do really well in Powur because it doesn't stop. If you can get 2 people a month, that's 24 people a year. Even if you get 15 of them to quit and they don't do anything, you're still going to build a really big team because those other people are now going to build people. And it's just the way it is. It's numbers. And so, in here, I want to just go over a few links that I use. The top 10 question link is the best for trying to get people to buy solar in an email blast. You'll just send that out to everybody. Make sure to make 2 corrections. The 2 corrections are that we now have a 30-year warranty. And the other correction is that we have a 30% federal tax credit. And those are good corrections from the video. So it looks like we did better. And then the other one is the join link and the ambassador link. Send the ambassador link out to every single person, everybody. Basically, all you're doing is saying, hey, even if I'm in Michigan, one thing that I don't have that you guys have is I do not have the opportunity to go to my neighbors and sell a solar system. I did all this virtually. Every single thing I did, I haven't spent any money on leads. I haven't spent any money doing this. Maybe $100 I spent on LinkedIn twice. I spend $6 a day. That's one thing. If you're going to do an ad on LinkedIn, I want you to make sure that you Don't do like 20 a day and 30 a day. Don't do that. You pretty much get the same amount of people if you do the minimum. So just go the minimum on that situation. And I want to bring up this other, I had to stop for a second so I could bring this up. Give me 1 second. I got to share this again. All right. So basically on LinkedIn, what I do also is I go after car salesmen, insurance salesmen, real estate agents, roofing companies. Just type in here car sales. And then now I just connect with them. All right. And this one I can't, go to the next one. And then I'm not going to send a message. If they want to connect, then I'll send them a message after they connect and saying, hey, thanks for the connection. Have you ever thought about solar? And so that's pretty much, the gist of what I do with every single person. I try to spend 2 hours a day sending links out to 100 people to 200 people. And you just keep doing that every day and try to dream about this a little bit. Look at Charles Thompson. Charles Thompson is making, from my guesstimation, about 100,000 a month in overrides. And that is in a 5-year period of building a team. Like, this is life-changing money. And you just got to get a couple people. You only need 1, 2, 3 good people to really grow a team underneath of you. Obviously, you want to get your bonuses. So your goal is to get 40 active people. And once you get 40 active people, you get all 6 levels of bonuses in Powur. And it is huge because, like, your guys' level, or my level 6 is like 75 people. And so the more levels you go down, the more people there are. And it might only be $150 a deal, but when you're doing 20 deals a month on level 6, it adds up, and then level 5 and obviously your level 1 and 2 is the best. Do everything you can to get people in as soon as possible. The lead company that I just got in, he told me today, he said, John, there's another guy I was talking to in Powur a week ago, and I didn't sign up with him, but I liked you. I liked your presentation, and you answered the phone and replied in your text immediately. And that's part of the reason why I don't do a ton of sales, because I just want to build my team and be there for you. If you call me, I want to answer my phone immediately or within a half hour. The other reason why I want to build a team is because I have 3 daughters and 1 on the way. And I want to be able to go to every single gymnastics, dance, whatever. I want to be there for my kids. I want those memories because you don't get that time back. And so that's why Powur is such an amazing situation where you can sell. If you want to sell for, 2-3 years really hard, you can and make a ton of money. And then if you want to sit back with your team because you've built it up to 200, 300, 400 people, then you can bring in 20, 30, 40,000 bucks a month in override bonuses. And you can go on vacation for 6 months a year. And Powur's got one simple rule. You got to have 1 install every 6 months. That's the only rule they got. And that's all you got to do. Some of you that are mentors, you got to have 3 mentor deals. And I want to make sure you know that because I lost bonuses. I lost tens of thousands of dollars in overrides because I didn't know I needed 3 mentor deals because I didn't sell any personal deals. And so that is a big thing that I learned the hard way. And Jim Bunch is like, John, like he called me and told me separately. He said, you need to get, some more deals in, because I was kind of just doing my own thing and building my team. And I wasn't thinking about the money as much. I was just knowing it's going to come in the future. And he said, you're losing a lot of money. You need to make sure that you have so many active people, and that way you always get those bonuses, and you always got to have 1 single sale or 3 mentor sales. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, I wanted to go over another thing with the ambassador program. So there is a good opportunity for us because I mean, like right now I have 700 and some people on my ambassador, which is all of you. So you guys bring in 10 ambassadors, that brings my numbers up. But this is what you got to think about. Those ambassadors someday are probably going to be in Powur, or at least half of them will. So that means your team's going to be that much bigger. The other thing is that you can sign these ambassadors up for free. You can sign college kids up. They're perfect. A college kid, let's say University of Miami or Kentucky, it doesn't matter where they're at. They can be in Michigan. They have kids from all over the country at their college. 10,000 kids. They could go to a college party and sign up 100 people in one night if they wanted to as an ambassador, and they know people and their families in Florida, California, Texas, all over the country. These college kids can make thousands of dollars. I have a 16-year-old that just made $1,000. She was a translator for a deal I did because her parents, they spoke Arabic. So she translated for them. And I said, hey, would you like to make some money, maybe to get a car in the future? Sign up as an ambassador. You can't be in Powur yet, but sign up as an ambassador. We got her parents' permission. She referred her uncle, and her uncle bought solar. So this 16-year-old is getting $1,000 that she now, can save for a future car. And now she really wants to try to go find more leads. Military is also perfect. Military is, when I was in the military, I was on an aircraft carrier with 6,000 people. We didn't have internet back then where I could just jump on and do things. Nowadays, you can sit there on a ship in the middle of the ocean where we're out there for a month at a time, and you can sell solar systems. You can make $100,000 to $200,000 while you're in the service. The other thing is, on a lot of these ships and bases, there's thousands of people from all over the country. So there's always going to be leads. You just got to sign them up in the ambassador program or get teammates. So I want you to really push military and college. Those are two great. I actually have presentations I'm doing at our local college for economics class and the business class. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk about Powur and solar. And I'm going to talk to them about this is the new way to do, business in the solar industry. Powur is the company. And hopefully I can get a few of these college kids in, and they're go-getters. When you guys remember what it was like when you were young. If you guys had something and you knew that you loved it, you did it 18 hours a day. And so go after those two. The other thing is fundraisers. Ambassador program is perfect for fundraising. Go to your church. When Powur comes to Michigan, I'm going to go to my church of 3,000 people. I'm going to go to the minister and say, hey, this helps the environment. It's godly. And I want to be able to raise some money for the church. So now the church, we pass out flyers to the congregation, and they just fill out, do they own a home? Do they want to get a solar proposal to help the church? They don't have to buy, but they want to try to help the church. So they're at least going to listen to the proposal. And they will then give that paperwork back. And the minister or the secretary or somebody that works there is going to go through all the paperwork and say this person rents, so they're not qualified. And the people that are qualified, then all of a sudden they put that into the church's ambassador link. And now you're going to get 50 leads. And if you sell 10 of them, the church just made $10,000. The other thing is wrestling teams, football teams, cheerleading teams. This is the perfect fundraiser. The same situation. You get the school to sign up as an ambassador for the wrestling team or football team. And all of a sudden now the football players go and pass out 300 flyers to everybody in the community. And let's say they get 15 solar deals that got installed. The football team just made $15,000 and never spent one single penny out of their pocket. They never bought t-shirts and had to sell them and make money. They never had to buy candy bars and sell them. They didn't have to stand on some corner and do this. All they did is went to a homeowner and said, would you like to help the football team, and listen to a solar proposal to see if it's a good fit. If it's not, no big deal. If it is, you can save some money on your electric bill and help the football team. So think about these as fundraisers. I'm so excited when Powur comes to Michigan because I have the church, I have the wrestling teams, I help coach wrestling, so I know lots of people in the communities and around the state where I can go. And I'm actually going to University of Michigan because one of my good friends is one of the, volunteer coaches there. And I'm like, this is perfect for the wrestling team. All they got to do is sell one single system every 3 months, and they got so much money that they can pay for their room and board. They can pay for possibly their entire college tuition, besides what they get from the wrestling scholarship. So it's a good opportunity for people. Powur has proven themselves. That, I know that. And sometimes it's hard at first. It takes a little time to get going, but don't give up. I promise you, I went through hard times. I went through a divorce. I went through recently a broken leg. I had a tree fall on my back, almost killed me. And if it wasn't for Powur where I could work from home, I wouldn't be able to pay the bills. I mean, Powur is life-changing for me and my family. And I'm here for you. I want you guys to know. I'm going to get my calendar right now. I'm going to put it in the chat. I haven't looked at the chat yet if you guys have any questions or anything. And I'm going to get my link for you guys. And I'm here for you. I will work my butt off to try to build a team for you, because I really want to will this, someday when I pass away. I don't know if you guys know this or not. It's not letting me, for some reason, Bo, it's not letting me put the copy and paste. Oh, there it goes. All right. I want to will this to my wife. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but you can will your team to your wife. You guys own your team. You can will it to a family member as long as you do it legally and legit through Powur. And so just remember that down the road when you decide that you want to, make sure that your family's taken care of. So I'm going to go through here and see if there's any questions that you guys might have. You guys can here.
John,
unmute and ask me anything.
Yeah, great information for sure, valuable. I know Bo has his hand up. Bo, you had a question, brother?
Yeah, I just had a comment that I wanted to make. This is kind of back when you were talking about LinkedIn. John, I just wanted to make some pointers as well on my end, and just kind of share a few success stories too on the LinkedIn side. It's a great tool to use, connecting with everybody, connecting with as many people as you can. But what you want to do for sure as well is make sure that your profile is set up correctly. Make sure that you are, showing that you are a solar pro. Make some posts about solar, continue to post on there, because as you connect with people, people are going to go to your profile and see, okay, is this person really in the solar industry? Do they know what they're talking about? Do I want to connect with this person? So definitely do that. There's a great training in our training website, and I think even in knowledge base maybe now, but we have specifically about LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn, so you can use that strategy. But what I wanted to point out is that's the same thing as I've been connecting with a ton of people and just posting some random things here on LinkedIn. And I've had just within the last week, 2 different connections reach out to me about, joining Powur. One was a guy who was a local guy. He was looking already into Powur, but he was looking for someone local. So he looked up on LinkedIn. It was a connection. He's like, oh, you're already with a Powur. I want to join someone who's local to me. He reached out to me, and he's a huge, massive guy who he's started a lot of businesses, been in the MLM industry, knows that really well, knows how to recruit and build teams. And we had a conversation. He joined right then. So, like I said, just use LinkedIn, post in there. One of the other things I was going to say is I have a really good friend that I've known since high school. He owns a solar company, and he also saw that I've been posting on LinkedIn and said, oh yeah, you're with Powur, because he's also looking into Powur because he has his own business in California and in Texas, but he can't operate in any of the other states, but he gets referrals and leads in these other states. So all he does is he sends them out to these other solar companies to try to process and just get a referral commission off it. And he's like, and so he saw Powur and saw they were in all these other states. So he's looking into joining it, and joining Powur, saw that I was been posting and that I'm part of Powur, and reached out to me and now wants to potentially join and start sending all of his referrals or start putting all of his leads that he's getting these all these other states into Powur. So that's one thing that I think John maybe he hinted at, but I know he's said multiple times, is that with solar companies, Powur is a great opportunity for them to immediately expand into all the other states that they can operate in. Most solar companies, they operate in one state or a couple states, but by joining Powur, they immediately open it up to, almost the entire US, which is pretty cool. So
Another thing with these smaller solar companies is I've talked to a few of them, and Powur has better deals than the solar companies. They actually can buy for cheaper, and these solar companies joining Powur literally can make the same amount of money with no risk, no liability. Don't worry about people falling off a roof. They don't have to install it, and they can still make the money. That's one amazing thing about Powur, is they have everything at your finger. You have a $300 million franchise at your fingertips for $85 a month, where you can literally bring on a $6 million solar company or $1 million roofing company and tie them right into Powur. And the training's there, the onboarding's there. Everything today that you have is 10 times better than what I had when I started. And it keeps getting better. The only thing that's screwing us over right now is just the supply chain issues, which everybody in the country has, and the interest rates. But Powur is trying, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we're waiting on deals to get installed or panels changed. But I'm telling you what, Powur is the best company I've ever seen. I am loyal to them. I've been recruited by Titan and all of them, Sunrun, and by the owners. And I have said no to every single one of them. And I will not leave Powur under any circumstance. I don't care how much money I would ever make. This isn't about money for me anymore. I really am in love with Powur as a company. And I love this team aspect of it. I love the model. If Powur didn't have the team model, I don't think I'd be doing this. Solar wasn't my thing. I just fell in love with what I do. And so hopefully you guys got my link. I'm still trying to get that other link over. I sent the ambassador one if you want to copy and paste that. Make sure that you put your ambassador link in there. And then at the very bottom, make sure you put your join link. That's a really good one to share out there with pretty much anybody, because everybody knows somebody. Somebody in Kentucky knows 10 people in one of the blue states. And so here's another thing. I get people to sign up in Powur that are not in a blue state, and that's hard to do. But we're virtual, and with this ambassador program, I really think that anybody can do this. You just have to spend, 10, 20, 30 hours and put in real time to share that link all over. And like I said, go to coupon places, where people trying to save money. You got moms that would love to look at this to see if they could save money or even make money. I love the fact that I can take a single mother of 3 and she can join Powur and she can brag about solar and never have to sell anything. And she can make 10 times more money than what she makes at her minimum wage job. And she doesn't get to see her kids working 2 jobs. So you can bring anybody into Powur the way they have the tier 1, 2, and 3 system. And it's perfect for everybody. Lead companies, what I have did, and I wanted to, Dean, can you unmute for a second? I just signed Dean up. Dean's a lead company.
Yeah,
I had him and David, another lead company, on the same Zoom. Can you, for like 2 minutes, kind of explain why you got in Powur and kind of how I met you and what happened?
Yeah, I messaged you, I believe, trying to sell you some leads, and you asked me to come on a Zoom with you and that other lead company, and I listened to what you had to say, and really what sold me was so I get tired of working for these smaller solar companies that either don't have that much money or at least not that much lead budget. A lot of them want you to do work, leads for them up front for free, and they'll do a profit share with you. But then, you know, once they go sell a few jobs, maybe you don't hear from them again, or it's just not that great. You know, you have to take a whole lot of risk for a small company that you don't really know. And with Powur, what I like about it is it's a big company that's going to pay me, and I can put as many leads in there as I can in all the different areas, and not have to worry about, is this company going to pay me or not have to hunt anyone down for my money. So for me, that was the main thing that sold me on it.
And not everybody works. I mean, you'll go through 10 different people and you put in hours, and I put in 100 hours, you know, with one guy for 3 years, really good friends with the guy, but he hasn't did anything in Powur. Do I have a good friend now? Yeah, I have a good friend now. Do I spend a lot of time talking to him? Sure I do. But I have never made a dime off this guy. But it's okay. I'm going to make money no matter what, because it's just math. The more people you get in, the more people they get in, and the way this model works. I also get a lot of people that question the multi-level. And this is how I explain it. Powur in the beginning didn't want to spend $10 million on advertisement, staff, and training. So they said, we're going to pay you guys from our sales after it's installed, so we have no money going out. So that way we can help you build our company and make some extra cash, and we don't have to spend it up front. So they started this tier system. And then I asked them, are you in a solar company? Do you have a red line? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what's your red line? And I say, well, if you bring somebody in, do they have a red line? And they're like, yeah. I said, so you have a tier system too. And once I kind of explain it a little bit, they understand that they're doing exactly what we're doing. The difference is we all sell for the same exact price. Nobody in the company can sell for any different price than anybody else. It's all identical. No matter if you're number one or the newest person in the company. If you go sell a system tomorrow at the same exact house, it's the same price depending on what commission you raise or lower. That's the only difference. The panels are the same, the inverters are the same, everything is the same. And I love that about Powur. And then the other thing is they always say, well, I'm not going to give 30% of my commission to somebody else. Well, once you explain that that's not your commission. In Michigan, if I sell a solar system for a local company, I have to charge them $5 grand more than Powur will. And I make half the commission, and I have to pay for my own proposal. And it's a solar proposal. And so when I explained that in Powur for 85 bucks a month, I get all that for free. I make double the commission, and I actually sell it for a lower price. It takes a second for them to comprehend, but I'm like, would you rather get 7,000 of 70% or 4,000 of 100%? I said the solar company will tell you you're getting 100% of commission, but it's only $4,000. Would you rather get 70%? That's $7,000. You make the choice. And a lot of them, they wake up and they realize how stupid they were when they were thinking what they were thinking. You know, as long as you have a company that pays out big money like Powur, and they have low prices and good warranties, nobody can beat them. They're unbeatable. I thank you guys for being on here tonight and allowing me to, you know, give you this presentation. I want to build a dynasty. And Bo and Anthony, I'm in love with your team. You guys, I have other teams, but they're nothing like you guys. You guys are just amazing, and I'm so thankful that you're on my team. All of you, I'm thankful for all of you.
Awesome. Good stuff, Mr. Bolenbough. So I actually had a couple things that I kind of wanted you to expand on. I know we have about 7 minutes left, and I want to be mindful of the East Coast time and everything. But real quick, so you're on LinkedIn, you send out the information, right? Get the hook in there, and then they respond, right? They're one or they're 5 of the 100 that responded, right?
Yep.
What's your follow-up process from there? What do you do then when they say,
I
hey, this
just-
seems interesting?
Yeah, I send them to, I'm glad you asked that. I have a website. I'm gonna share my screen here. I actually made my own landing page. And I used to have John Bernasso's video on it. I recently put Bo's video on it. And so I'm about ready to make my own, but I figured I'd just use Bo's right now. But basically, I want people to come to my landing page and see a real person on a roof. I want them to know that I'm a veteran. If you have stuff like that, use it to your advantage. And this is back in 2020. I was #1 in the company, or maybe 2021, I was #1 in the company during this month, or this year at that period of time. I am not on the stage like a lot of the guys. I'm kind of low key, and but I do produce. I do have a pretty big team now. I have Powur's video on here, which is Bo's, and I don't like sending anything to YouTube or anybody to YouTube. That is not smart. If you send somebody to watch Bo's video, they'll sign up with Bo. If you send somebody to watch John Bernasso's video, they'll sign up with John Bernasso. So you want your own landing page if you can afford to have a website. I pay $20 a month on LinkedIn or on GoDaddy, and it's pretty easy to build. I mean, I can help you guys if you really need help. And you just copy and paste, and you just put this here and put that there. I put Powur that they're number 43. Everything is linked back to Powur. I'll show you that in a second. I have a trailer video on here if any of you want to get to know who I am a little bit. And it kind of shows me on stage at Powur talking about oil and stuff like that. And then I got all the blue states, a little bit about Powur. I have my calendar on here down at the bottom. I have a few pictures of what I do, and just try to build me up a little bit because it helps people get into Powur with me. All right, so I have everything hooked back. I just push a button and it sends me right to Powur. Everything is linked back to Powur, and this really helps me sign up people. I just send everybody the veteran solar sales video and ask them when they contact me and say they're interested, Anthony, I just say, hey, can you do me a favor and watch our company's presentation video? And if you really want to know who you're working with, there's a 7-minute trailer to get to know me and build some trust. And I'll get 1 or 2 people out of the 5 that contact me back that actually watch the videos. If they're not going to watch the videos, don't waste your time with them. You know, you can message them back maybe 2 months from now, but I've learned, like, if they're not interested, they're not interested, and you can't really tug at them. And so I also have on my website the ambassador. So I have up here at the top, referral program, $1,000. And basically I can send this link out to people if I choose to. And it's just flashy, $1,000 referral bonus. There's a video on there about the Powur ambassador program. And everything is linked back to Powur ambassador program, which is linked to me. Another thing that I did that kind of worked for me is my vanity is not my name, but it's sign up. Powur.com sign up ambassador. I have Powur.com sign up join. So my vanity that I used was sign up. And so you can use a different vanity that might work for you that's a little better than your name. And that's all up to you. Anything else, Anthony?
Makes sense. Well, so they click or they show interest on Indeed. And this could be applied obviously to a solar company, to a lead generation company, to a sales professional, whatever, right? Essentially the same process. You send them your link to your website, check out the 10, 15, 20-minute Powur presentation, check out the ambassador link, whatever. Okay, so they watch the Powur presentation, then what?
Then I just schedule a meeting. I'm like, hey, you want to jump on a Zoom? And they'll say, yeah, let's do it. And once I, get them, it's nice sometimes if this office helps me. People say, oh, I love your office. I love what you got. I see you're, wrestled and, you see you're in the military. And I just try to use that stuff to my advantage because
Right.
people don't know who in the heck you are. They don't know anything about Powur. They don't know. I mean, they're in the dark. And basically you got to sell the company in an hour period of sitting here and doing a presentation with them and talking to them. So I try to use anything I can to my advantage to help me.
Okay. And then last question, like I said, I know we got a couple minutes left, but you did kind of expand on the 85 a month, which I like how you worded it. You said this is essentially a $300 million franchise for 85 bucks a month, right? That's kind of how you expand on that, or that's kind of your talk track on that. What's the talk track on someone living out of state? We do have a handful of reps that are living out of state, that are working remotely. What's your talk track on them, whether it be recruiting, lead generation, selling, whatever it may be?
I try to get most of them to recruit a team. So I get them to focus on the team and I say, I'm here for you. I work for you. Basically, you have me as a staff member to build a team. All you got to do is get on the calendar, put your name first. Let's say Jim would put his name first. So I know it's Jim Wooten. And then all of a sudden, when I look at that calendar and that appointment, I see Jim's name and then I see Steve Johnson. I know I'm doing a presentation for Steve Johnson,
Right.
And it's going to go to Jim when I sign him up. So I'm doing this work for you. If anybody accidentally ever signs up on my team, I would always put them on your team. It's so easy. I just go to Powur support and say, hey, that he signed up he's supposed to sign up on Jim's team. He ended up on my team by accident, and I would switch him over. I've never had anybody ever say you stole my guy, because I won't.
Right.
And so the whole goal in that situation is just to help you build that team and to do a presentation. When you're sitting there and you're doing that personal presentation with them, I think it really helps get people into the company. And I could do it a lot different. I could do a cookie cutter. I could do ads. I could try to get people to sign up for a job. I could do things a little differently and save myself a lot of time. But I think this works well. And I actually enjoy it a little bit. I like becoming friends with the people I work with.